This is a pop culture thing that I wasn't going to do, or not that I wasn't going to do it, but I decided I wanted to do it because you were going to be on the show today. I wouldn't do this with just anyone, but I feel like you'll have some stuff to
You're
say.
insipid, so yes.
No. I mean, this is up my alley, and I wanted to get your take on this because I feel like you have a lot to say about it, which I'm looking forward to.
I have a feeling I know what it's gonna be.
All right, well, I'm gonna show you, and then you can tell me if I'm right or not. Because yeah, I'm curious if you're gonna guess it too. The Nightmare Before Christmas is getting a Sally-focused sequel. Is that what you were expecting?
No.
Really?
No, I thought you were gonna say about Bruce and Obama.
Oh, I talked about it yesterday. I talked about Bruce and Obama yesterday. I couldn't help but just laugh about it. I mean, you have to laugh about it, or you'll go insane.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't. I mean, yeah. It's. Are you gonna listen to it?
Hell no.
No. Curiosity. I mean, I don't think I am because I'm like, I don't need to. If it was Bruce doing a solo podcast, I'd totally listen to it.
Well, you know, he endorsed Bernie in 2016. And then, you know, in 2020, he said, there's no one there that I care about, blah, blah, blah. And then he played, you know, shows for Biden and stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, you're known as the working man singer, the singer who's like, you know, for the blue collar. Your lyrics are just, they speak to so many. And that's why it made sense for him to go for Bernie, because he's so pro-union and things like that. But when he started playing for Hillary and Biden and stuff, and I was just like, wow, that is so beyond contradictory to what you have sold us for decades. Plus, I can't even take the hubris of Obama and his voice.
His Netflix company, his production company. Yeah, I mean, I mean, for me, it's like I enjoy Bruce Springsteen's music. I don't, see him as some, like, he's just a guy, and I think his heart's in the right place. Like, I don't think he has malicious intentions or anything like that. I don't think he supported Biden because he remembers when Biden supported the Iraq war. Bruce was against the Iraq war. I don't think he supports Biden because Biden promised a bunch of Wall Street insiders nothing will fundamentally change. I think he supported Biden because he's like, well, the other guy's Trump,
Absolutely.
As far as why he wasn't, I don't know why he wasn't more Bernie in the primaries. That I don't know. I'm surprised he wasn't, and I was a little disappointed he wasn't. But yeah, it seemed like he was pretty quiet until the general, when it was like, well, it's either Biden or Trump, and he was like, well, Biden. But yeah, he was quiet in the primary, and I don't know why. I don't have an answer for that.
Yeah, and it's weird because Bernie, like the fact that he supported Bernie in 2016, but Bernie was better in 2020. He listened to so many of our suggestions, and he was just better on a lot of issues, like, not just income inequality, but the disparity of people of color within income inequality, things like that. So I don't know. I'm always kind of surprised with people who wanted him in 2016 but didn't in 2020. I don't know. I find that very weird.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's one of those things. It's just, I mean, the whole podcast thing. I mean, I kind of laughed when I heard about it because it's the alternative is just like letting it piss you off. And I'm like, I can't let something like that get to me. There's too many other things going on in the world, first of all. And I have found it easier to cope when you just kind of laugh about it and just realize, I think in many ways I was just born in the wrong country in so many ways. Cause this whole I mean, American liberalism is the most ridiculous freaking thing ever, because I think a lot of it can just be boiled down to, we know how absurd all this bullshit is, but we're going to pretend like it isn't because, well, we benefited from the system, and we want someone to look out for our tax bracket. So we're going to pretend like this isn't complete and utter bullshit, even though we know it is. And the Republicans are just like, we're not going to pretend. We know it's bullshit, and fuck you. If you're poor, go die. And that's our system. And if you're not comfortable with either of those two things, you're a complete outsider. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm just an outsider. I mean, that's just where I'm at. But there's a lot of other people who feel this way. There's other people who feel this way too. And it's okay for us to feel this way. And hopefully someday, we won't be the outsiders, at least not to this level. Hopefully someday, we'll actually have a political structure that represents the people who live here overall. We don't have that. We haven't had that in a long, long time. And hopefully that changes. But in the meantime, you just kind of you're just like, well, I guess, man, I'm just in the wrong place in many ways. Could be worse, but yeah, I'm just sort of the outcast here. I'm the guy where when it's like, hey, let's talk about our system as if it's normal or should be accepted, I'm the dude who's going to ruin the dinner party. Let's change the subject.
Oh, I feel that. Yes.
But this is so yeah, good guess. But no, I wanted to talk Nightmare Before Christmas with you, because Nightmare Before Christmas is getting a Sally focused sequel. Now, it's not going to be a movie, it's going to be a book. But I'm curious your thoughts. My first reaction, I don't know. My first reaction was I'm not a fan, because I feel like some stories, they just really nail it. And that was one of them. I feel like you don't need to add to Nightmare Before Christmas. It's one of those things, there shouldn't be a sequel. It should just be Nightmare Before Christmas is Nightmare Before Christmas. It was a beautiful movie, one of my favorite Tim Burton moments, and something I still like to revisit. And yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna. Well, unless it's audiobook, I can't read it anyway. But I don't think that's very exciting for me. I really don't understand why things always have to be remade and added onto. We should be able to just appreciate things as they are. Nightmare Before Christmas is such a classic, and it's just such a beautiful film, and so different. My first gut reaction is probably not a typical reaction for a woman, but my first reaction is, oh shit, are they gonna make this like a pro woman, girl power? Like, is that why it's just Sally and not Jack? Or like,
Well,
I don't
Jack's
know.
in it. I mean, here's what they say. Like, so Jack is going to be in it, but it basically fast forwards to Jack and Sally are now happily married. And so here's what's going on. Sally has accidentally let a mysterious villain loose on Halloween Town, leading her to venture out on a quest to other holiday worlds as the Pumpkin Queen to figure out how to save her home. She'll also wrestle with new discoveries about her past life. And the book is written from the point of view of Sally. So her and Jack are happily married. Something happens, like a villain is accidentally released that disrupts. There's a little bit of trouble in paradise, and Sally has to save the day. It looks like.
Who writes the book?
Well, let me see. I don't know if the author was someone.
Because I'm curious if Tim Burton actually like sat in on it, or
yeah, let me see if it says okay, is getting a book, blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't know if they tell us who's going to be writing it. Disney Publishing is going to be releasing it. Shay Earnshaw, who wrote The Wicked Deep and Winterwood. I'm not familiar with that author. Shay Earnshaw. Are you familiar with them or?
Never heard of her.
Okay, yeah. So I'm not hip to that either. They're a young adult novelist, and the book will follow a happily married Sally and Jack. I don't know. I mean, I love that stuff. It's one of my favorite movies. But yeah, I was like, why would you mess with that? It's such a it'd be like if there was a Rocky Horror Picture Show sequel or something like that, which I don't think has there been one? I don't think there has.
No, and that would hurt my heart.
That would hurt my heart too. I mean, some of those things they're like cult classics, and you just don't like the Grease sequel should have never happened. Like that's for like you just don't like that's just it. And I think like Footloose is another one of those things. And I think there was a Footloose too, wasn't there? Or what? Or did I
I'm
dream?
not sure if there was a 2, but there was a remake that looked a mess. But the thing about Grease that I don't like. I do not like that movie Grease. I find it so annoying. I hate the music, and I know that's such an unpopular opinion. But the other thing that I cannot stand about that movie is, you know, the woman Sandy in the end, she changes who she is
For him, yeah.
to fit in for a dude. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so gross. Like, I'm just going to change who I am to please you. And it's supposed to be this whole romantic thing. And I'm like, actually, it's kind of jacked up. Like, you should love me how I am. If you don't, fuck you.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I don't really. I don't really have strong opinions one way or another on Grease, but yeah, when you really look at the messages in it, it's not really all that positive or something. You know, it just kind of is one of those just I don't know cultural things in the music and blah 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 and I'm just saying like something like that, like a cult classic. The sequel, why do they have a sequel? And the sequel was like absolutely ridiculous. But
I'm sure.
yeah, I mean, well, I saw it once and I couldn't get through it. I mean, I watched it once, like many years ago when I was a kid, and it was just so out there. I was just like, what the hell is this? So I don't know. But yeah, so Nightmare Before Christmas getting a book sequel. And yeah, I feel like that's a cult classic that should be left alone. And Nightmare Before Christmas, I do love. Do you love the movie? Are you a fan?
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Now, Coraline, I thought was utter garbage. I could
So
barely.
I've not seen that. I don't know that.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not hip to that.
don't. Just it was absolutely awful. I just had an idea though. It would be kind of cool if Tim did you know, a film of like Edward Scissorhands and Jack and Sally and Beetlejuice, and like all of these characters came in together and like intertwined somehow.
I feel like that would be cool. A train wreck.
It could
you think that'd be cool?
It could be.
I've not been thrilled with a lot of Tim Burton stuff in recent years. I mean, I didn't I didn't like Corpse Bride. I thought what he and Johnny Depp did to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was horrific.
Awful.
Like horrific. Like I was looking around the movie theater like after and I was just like, what the fuck did they just do to an amazing story?
Yep.
What the fuck did they just do? And I've not been able to look at Johnny Depp as an actor the same since. Like that was like horrible.
It was
horrible what they did. The dentist angle, it's like, what are you doing? And that's such a brilliant book. Such a brilliant Roald Dahl book. And I love so much of his writing. And yeah, that was wow. So I've not been super impressed with Tim Burton in recent years. I mean that in Nightmare Before Christmas, one of my favorites from him. And I mean, I loved what he did with Batman, and I love a lot of his stuff over the years. Edward Scissorhands, I loved, but some of his recent stuff, I'm like, ooh, I feel like you just, I feel like you're just not. I feel like you're just like, it's me, so watch it. You know what I mean? And it's
Absolutely. People are gonna see this regardless. So let me just get like this little morsel of an idea and turn it into something. Yeah, the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, like, whew, he went like to me.
I don't think the Nightmare Before Christmas book, which I'm probably not gonna read, but I don't know. Like if it I am a little curious. Like I am a little curious. I mean, I guess I can't say for sure I won't read it. I might. But I'd be willing to bet it's not going to be worse. If it is bad, it might be great. Who knows? But if it is bad, I don't think it'll be worse than Charlie and the Chocolate Factory remake. I feel like so that I can say with confidence. That I can say with confidence. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on?